Frankie Flowers. Give him a big hand. Frankie.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
That was some great tips.
You know what? Now we have some Easter inspiration, and I think it's getting us in the mood for spring. We know the weather is going to, it's already starting to warm up a little bit, so let's start thinking about our gardens and our landscaping.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time for a homeowner.
It is an exciting time for a homeowner. People are spending more and more on their outdoor landscapes. It should be between about probably 15 to 20% of the value of your home. That's what you should do for an expenditure. It adds value to the home. Now let's dream a little. I'm going to show you some award-winning gardens from Landscape Ontario that are maybe out of some people's budget, but we can dream anyway.
Yes, we can. And he's talking about most of us when he says some people, okay?
Yeah,
so keep that in mind. But the thing about it is you see these beautiful yards and you think, okay, I can do my own thing on a lower scale, but you have the idea in your mind. So it's aspirational. Yeah,
this first one here won the Dunnington Grub Award. It's by Eden Grove Landscapes. I will admit that the imported stone from India may not be in everybody's budget. However, what I want you to learn from this is really some of the mass plantings. You can see the black-eyed Susan, also known as rutabaga, the hydrangeas there, how they're mass planted in large spaces, sometimes to gain impact, they make it low maintenance. It's all about mass plantings. And you can see just how beautiful that is, the combination that you have there of a lot of the natural landscapes.
See, I've always liked that look, but I didn't know it was called mass planting. That's what you need. Okay, you need to describe what this is.
So
there's a fire happening, there's a pool.
Yeah, this is by Landmark Group. This is the Casey Van Maris Award. What they've done here is they've combined all the earth elements. When you're doing a landscape, we're talking about the outdoors. So you want to think about natural wood. You want to think about using water, incorporating that in your garden, and as well using fire. So they used fire in the garden. This one here is in the area of Collingwood. You can see natural stone, a beautiful sitting area that's there where we have water, wood, fire, all round, 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year. You can enjoy this landscape. The value of that landscape was in the range of $1 million when the whole completed project.
That is incredible. That's not the value of the house and the
landscape.
No,
that's the value of the landscape.
The landscape.
People are now, and this is where people are now, because some homes in some of the areas are costing $3 to $4 to $5 million.
Yes.
People are spending that because the landscape is an extension of your outdoors. For some of those more technical projects like that, where you have burning fire out of water, that's when you want a landscape architect. A lot of the times you want a landscape architect if you're working by a waterway, or perhaps you're backing onto a natural forest where you're dealing with conservation authorities. That's when it's going to be a good benefit to use an architect versus a designer. Okay, let's bring it.
The takeaway is it's not a DIY project to make fire come out of the water.
No, that's a little bit beyond everybody's grasp.
Not a DIY.
But
you get help with that.
Yeah, but you can make it happen. Let's bring it back to a little bit something that's just a little simple planting and how this can do. This one here is by Shades of Summer Landscaping in Millgrove, Ontario. You can just see some beautiful plantings with some hostas, some daylilies, a beautiful seating area. Nice. You can see the flagstone that's used there. This is something that anyone can do. It's a small space, an example of using a pop of color in a container. And look at how healthy the plant material there. Look at the beautiful Japanese maple that we have on the right-hand side. So a really nice mix. And doesn't that just make you want to sit back, relax, and read the paper, the Toronto Star, because I know Yannick's in it, right?
That's right. Read the Toronto Star, or any Rogers publication. If
Rogers Chatelaine, more so. So let's talk about a space, what it looks like before and after. So here's a backyard. This looks like many people's backyards.
Absolutely.
You know, the Garden of Eden instead of the Garden of Eden. How do we make it the Garden of Eden? Here we go. We're going to make this small space a dramatic, beautiful space.
Unbelievable.
This is the after. This is by Shabui Landscapes. And you can see, with this small space, they angled the look. And by angling this look, it creates more depth to that backyard. By also putting that little reading room in the back, it makes a little area where you want to escape to. The incorporation of all the plantings with the natural stone makes a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful space. So the takeaways from this is really, number one, plan your space. It's going to be a really important thing to do. If you want to go and spend a lot of money on your landscape, get people that basically have the experience. Make sure that your landscaper is also insured. Very, very important. There's a lot of what we call lawnscapers. A lot of guys that have pickup trucks and shovels. And they think they can just jump into this industry and make it happen.
And it's design. You need somebody that knows design.
Function design. This is what you want to do is create a functional space that works for your family. At the same time, looks good. So if you have kids, that space has to incorporate kids into the space. If by chance you're somebody that entertains a lot, you need an entertaining space. But you know what? Sky's the limit. If you have a budget, we can make it happen.
Should we put your 1-800 number at the bottom of the screen at this point? That was lovely.
Yeah, Landscape Ontario, though, and the Canadian Landscape Association can help guide you towards great landscapers.